the organic nature. Hello everyone, welcome to a video where we're going to do something a little bit unconventional. We're actually looking at Legendary, and then I think we're also going to hope to dive into Sentinels of the Multiverse a little later today, if you're catching us on the live stream. And we're looking at how these games compare to Marvel Champions, the living card game. It's clearly a game that we have a distinct interest in and that we've been following from the very beginning. And we wanted to look at how it is different and maybe some strengths versus weaknesses that it might have as compared to both Legendary and Sentinels. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Zach is going to be teaching me Legendary. For those of you who have followed along for many years, you might be a little worried that Zach is the one teaching the rules on this. So please, if you see anything being done incorrectly, I know there's probably some Legendary players watching, let us know and we will fix it. And Zach, what do you think? You think you got this one wrapped?
I feel like I'm great at teaching people how to have a good time and not as good at teaching them the actual rules.
Yeah, like my friend in college.
I mean, I think this is one of the early questions we started seeing and we keep getting, and we didn't really have the... I played Legendary a couple times.
I played Sentinels a couple times.
And so we had a little bit of experience, but people were like, how does it compare? What do you like and not like comparatively? And we didn't really have the knowledge base to actually speak to that. So we started talking about wanting to play them, and then it was like, well, why don't we just play them on camera so people can see? And then throughout the video, we're going to be talking about how it does or doesn't compare to Champions and strengths and weaknesses. And then, of course, if you have questions or just general thoughts on this game or Champions, we're happy to have that dialogue as we play and just kind of hang out and talk about it.
Let's kick it off with just a pretty brief comparison of the concepts at work here. So obviously, the Legendary game is set in the same Marvel universe as Champions. So you're going to be seeing the same iconic superheroes, and that's a really important distinguishing factor, especially as compared to Sentinels. This is actually all of the heroes that you grew up with, that you know, that you understand. So that's one thing, that this is very similar in that they're the exact same universe. But secondarily, is this a cooperative game? Tell me that.
Sort of.
You read the rulebook, right? You know. Is it? So are we going to be working together to defeat Red Skull here, or what's?
So basically, you're not in this game. Unlike Champions, you're not a hero. You're not a specific hero, right? So one of the common kind of negatives of this game, Legendary, is the fact that the setup for this game is pretty intensive. So I was working through setting this up. Yeah, it is easy now. Of setting this up before we came on camera. Over here, there's a couple decks. So there's a villain deck, and it's got a couple different groups in it. Then there's a hero deck, which is actually each hero has their own little stack of 14 or 15 cards. And so, in there I put Captain America and Wolverine and...
So they're kind of their signature cards, essentially, yeah. So
those all go together, they get shuffled up. And this is if you're familiar with deck building games, this is definitely one of the earlier deck building games in general. So what's going to happen is Steve and I both have a very basic deck here, which has cards that generate resources and cards that do damage. And then each turn, you're going to draw a full hand of 6 cards, and you get to use any number of those. So that actually does kind of feel like Champions a little bit. Where in Champions, I always feel like I'm trying to basically figure out the best way to chain together my one hand. But in this game, we're actually buying cards from a shared pool of cards that'll flip from the hero deck. So it's possible that I end up with Spider-Man and Captain America and Wolverine and cards from their deck specifically. And each time we play, right, you start with a very basic deck, and a big part of the game itself is actually building that deck as you go and basically figuring out on the fly how to put that deck together.
It's fascinating. So it's one of these kinds of games. I've probably played a number of these where you're basically buying things to make your deck better over time, and then you're drawing from that deck to do better things, to buy stronger cards to get better over time. Yep. And you're so, trying to win.
To answer your kind of first question about whether or not it's cooperative, and it is one of those kind of games, and it was one of the early ones. This is an older game. I don't know the year it came out, but I think it's been at least 6 or 7 years. And when it came out, it was a really big deal because it was both Marvel.
Right.
It was early version of this kind of game. And it is semi-cooperative. So you are cooperating. We're both fighting the Red Skull. So kind of like Champions, there's a single villain that we're trying to fight. And we can both lose at the same time if we lose to the Red Skull and we don't defeat him in time.
Okay, sounds very familiar so far.
Yep.
What's the catch?
The difference is that as we're defeating villains and as we're doing various things, we actually score points. So everything you defeat, you're going to put over in your little pile of things you've defeated. And then technically at the end of the game, you can see who's the player that did the most work, right?
Okay.
So I mean, I think this is, in comparison to Champions, which is you either win or lose together, period. Even if you get defeated in the middle of the game, if your team wins, your team wins. So I think that's it's a fine like scoring system, but I know a lot of people that play it. It's not like a major focus. It's not like, oh, I beat you by 10 points this time.
But you can say, I did more work than you.
Yeah, which
pull your weight next time.
Inherently is a different kind of vibe around the game because it's like, well, I want to defeat Red Skull, but I want to be the one to defeat him, so I'll kind of help you a little bit, but not like fully queue him up for you.
That makes
defeat
sense.
him. Yeah.
So there is that cooperative element in that you can, if you're both too greedy, you're both going to lose. I've seen that in games before as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fair. So are we going to pay attention to it or not? How are you gonna like?
I mean,
trying to collect all the points, or are we just gonna have
How about we just play and have a good time? We'll start there. So it is some things that are really handy is like it came with this board and it's kind of showing you where to put everything and it has a nice little setup and a turnover thing here. So I'm just going to run this down real quick.
It can go to 5 players too, which is notable.
It is notable. Each player starts with their own deck, which we've built. We've set aside the right cards. We selected a mastermind, which is Red Skull. I saw a comment that was like, please, anybody but Red Skull, which is funny. It's the one recommended in the starter, so that's what we're doing. And the associated tactic cards, select a scheme card. So we randomly select a scheme, place it face up on the board, and there's a whole pile of schemes that have happened.
Wow, that's a lot of schemes. So are these like scenarios or environments that are going to add a weird dimension to the...
It's got like a setup and a twist one, twist and that kind of a thing. So the other part of this is this. I'm borrowing this from a friend, Brandon Springer. He loaned us this, and Sentinels really appreciate it. And so he's got, I think, a bunch of expansions. So there's way more options in terms of what was available here. So I think these all come from the various expansions. But the one I happen to flip is Portals to the Dark Dimension, which setup says 7 twists. So we actually put 7 twists somewhere. Each twist is a dark portal.
Oh god, that seems advanced. Can we do a different one?
All right, yeah, that's better. Superhero Civil War. I like this for 2 to 3 players only. Let's try again.
Wait, we're 2 players?
Oh, wait, we are. See, this is a problem with me reading the rules.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. It's like, wait, we are 2 players. It says for 2 to 3 players, use 8 twists for 4 to 5 players. Okay, so 8 twists, whatever. The twist is KO all the heroes in the HQ. Evil wins if the hero deck runs out. So here. So I need to know what I do with these 8 twists.
We've already done it. You're already here. I'm glad that everything I said at the beginning of this video has
correct.
has already. Okay, if it's a scheme twist,
it is
represents the scheme moving forward towards victory for the evil mastermind. Scheme twist doing a specific thing related to that scheme. When a scheme twist card is played, look at the twist effect on the main scheme and do what it says.
Okay, cool.
Put the scheme twist in the KO pile. Some schemes say they do something special when twist 1 or twist 5 through 6 come up. So at twist 8, is that when we lose, essentially?
So it says for 2 to 3 players, use 8 twists.
Okay. I'm using them. Consider it 8 twists.
I think twists are cards that should go over here.
Yeah, I see other twists in there.
Let me look. I doubt it.
Oh, so so they can be twists, they can be master strikes.
I have the master
They can be bystanders.
Twists go in the villain deck. All right, let me go grab the twists.
Oh, you don't have the twists
Twist
either.
and shout. It didn't say in the setup to put the twist out.
It totally doesn't, actually. I'm reading it. I'll entertain our friends here on the stream. Live television. Let's see if, actually, I'm going to see if it does say that in the setup.
Catch me?
Mm-hmm.
Catch me missing the rules? Wouldn't be the first.
Game setup, game stacks, mastermind at random, 4 mastermind tactics. We did that. A schemes card, here we go. A scheme card setup always tells you how many scheme twist cards to put into the villain deck. So you put 8 in the villain deck. It's right here. It says right here in setup. Jonathan, you see this? It says it. Verbatim.
That very paragraph?
This is the guy that taught me when I was like 9 how to play Pokemon. He probably... Hey! It does tell us. So it tells us how many scheme twist cards to put into the villain deck. So put 8 in there.
That's what this is telling us.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I found them.
All right. What do they do? It just says scheme
twist.
twist.
And then you do what it says, right?
Okay. I'm just going to slot these in here and reshuffle. I presume that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Get suited up.
Get remiked. All right, we're back. So this is how it's going to work, right? So every time we flip a twist, we're going to KO all the heroes in the HQ. So everything here
knocked out.
When we flip it, they go to the KO pile. When it's KO'd, they're gone for good.
Never to be seen again.
Once this deck runs out, we lose. That's what this twist is.
That's fine.
And then every time there's a the villain obviously. So this is kind of.
Are you confident that you're gonna win
This game?
or just like that we're gonna win as a group? You think we're gonna lose?
Maybe.
Can you really lose at a deck builder? I mean, you know, you just buy the good cards and play the good cards, right? Isn't that how that goes?
We'll see, right? This is why we're here, to make this evaluation.
All
right, so you're shuffling the deck.
Tier 2 deck.
That's so funny. You got those rules? Let me read those rules again real quick. So.
That's where I was right there at the setup.
Yeah, at the beginning of the setup. There's a lot going on.
Apparently setup's the worst part of this game.
There's a lot happening here. Where are we at?
I see Ryan's avatar up there on YouTube. He's probably helping.
Ryan?
Ryan Roper. Ryan's a huge asset to the live stream, chat and otherwise. All right, your villain deck is complete. Consider it done.
Right. You ready to play?
Yeah. You want to just get in here and start bulling the China cabinet, this thing?
That's how I roll.
Now, I'm going to open the rule book, and I'm just going to kind of follow along to the things that you say. I think we're at our strongest when we work together.
Ryan says he can answer all our rules questions for you. Thanks, Ryan.
Put it face down on the villain deck. Shuffle the hero. We've done that. Flip 5 cards. We're starting the game, right?
Yep.
Are we cool with that? Okay. Flip 5 cards from the hero deck face up into the 5 hero spaces. Does it matter the order? Do you think we go like this?
I don't think the order of this matters because these are just buyable cards. That looks great.
Just to determine, you're going to buy that.
That's an 8, though.
Yeah, but it's got Captain America on
But
it.
I don't have the money to do
That's the
it.
only
The
thing
8.
you're
Look at
gonna
the 8,
do.
though.
Ooh.
It's just 6 plus.
So is this how much it costs?
That's how much it costs to buy.
This is how much what it does. So it's either points or damage,
Yep,
basically.
plus 6 damage.
Or resources or damage.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a buy this card to buy more cards card.
Yep.
And this is a do damage when you draw it card.
So it's pretty normal. In our deck, we have basically a bunch of 1 damage and 1 resource cards. So early on, you're wanting to likely start stacking up some cards that get you some good resources.
Like
you can also
maybe
always
a
buy
ramp. Are you
these.
telling me I should ramp a little bit?
Looks like this. I need a ramp T-shirt. You can always buy the shield officer, which is cost 3 and provides 2 resources.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't like that deal. I mean,
stackers.
look at this comparatively. Cost 2 and 3 resources.
Well, that does seem good.
But you have to discard from your hand to play it. That's fine. All right, now we shuffle our personal decks here and draw a hand of 6 cards from this deck. Here, shuffle this.
I did.
It's extremely underwhelming to shuffle
A 12-card deck.
Stack of
It's like,
12
yeah,
cards.
you're not even really shuffling.
Choose a player to go first. Zach, it's going to be you.
All
And
right.
then we'll take turns in clockwise order. On our turn, we do 3 things. We play the top card of the villain deck. We play cards from our hand, using them to recruit and fight. And then we discard our hand and draw 6 new cards.
All right, so I'm going to flip the top villain card. You okay with that?
All right, yeah. Play the top card.
Scheme Twist. Oh, boy.
What does that do?
KO all this.
Are you serious?
Yep. All the heroes in the HQ are KO'd when we hit a twist. And then this goes somewhere.
So we're just going to buy a bunch of shield officers?
I'm going to assume this goes here. Maybe.
There's like a villain discard
Yeah, I
deck
don't
it goes
know.
into. Does that? Is there a?
I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a
It
villain
says you
discard.
put it. It says you put it in there, but it's not on the board. You're right.
So what I don't know is if this gets KO'd, if we just can't buy anything, is that the point of how hard this twist is?
I think so. Put the top card of the villain deck, which we did, and what does the twist say?
Alan says, ouch.
Okay, all the heroes in the HQ. Yeah, so
All
we
right.
did that.
Well, here we go.
Play cards from your hand, using them to recruit and fight, and then discard your hand and draw 6 new.
Alan Meek says you refill it.
Every time.
I assume when you... Oh, every time you remove a card, you refill it. That's just how deck builders work.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
But that's still 5 cards that we're now short.
It's quite
All
funny,
right,
really.
so I'm not going to labor over this too much. I have, what, 4
So you're going to play
resources.
your whole turn, and then redraw, and then I'm going to take my turn, flip the villain,
Yep.
and we're going to get into this thing.
Now, I'm pretty sure, like, partial damage doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay. I'll check on that while you
So,
start buying.
I'm pretty sure that if I only have 2, so it just doesn't do anything right now. So I have 4 money, which I'm going to spend to buy the best thing I can that produces. Hey, there's nothing.
That seems like a good strategy.
The best thing you can, yeah.
Buy the best thing you can.
Hello there. I'm going to buy...
Yeah, put the scheme twist in the KO pile. Well done.
Nailed it. I'm going to buy Avengers Assemble. It's going to go straight to the top of my discard pile, and then I have 2 damage, but I'm not going to be able to do anything, so I just get rid of it.
That's it? How to recruit, here we go. Let's look at how to recruit people. You use recruit points to gain a hero from HQ. So one at a time, the HQ area of the game board has 5 spaces. They always contain 5 heroes, so that's true. They would be replaced. Use recruit points equal to that hero's cost and put that hero into your discard pile. Okay. When your deck runs out and you shuffle, you'll get them back in your deck. Right, makes sense. Refill HQ. Whenever there's an empty space, always fill it.
Yep.
How to fight a villain. Here we go. Expend attack equal to the villain's attack to defeat it. You then have the remaining attack value available to attack another villain. Put the defeated villain into the victory pile. If it has fight on, you do that before comparing attack totals. You can only attack a villain if you have at least as much attack as the villain's attack. You can also fight the mastermind. Okay, so yeah, you do have to at least match the villain's attack.
Which is 7. So we have to build to 7 before we can beat Red Skull.
I understand. Okay, this is my hand.
Yep.
My turn?
Yep.
All right, here comes the villain.
All right, what's his name?
It's a Phalanx. I can't even read it.
It's so busy.
Phalanx Hitchman villain.
And this is, let me look at the bottom of these cards. So it says 2012, which is 7-ish years ago. Probably was being made 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
I mean, it's beautifully comic book art.
I feel like card templating has gotten a lot better since this game came out.
So we reveal some kind of symbol hero or KO one of our heroes with a fight icon whenever we fight this thing.
Yeah.
So we have to. It's hard to fight the Phalanx man.
I don't know what a chip hero is.
Yeah, right. It's like the what does that look like? The QR code.
Yeah. Or KO one of your heroes with a. So you have to KO a card from your hand with a fight icon to defeat this guy.
Yeah, that's fine. Who cares, right? And if I fight him, the only thing that happens is I get the victory point, and he doesn't go to escaped.
Yeah.
And escaping is really bad.
Yes. Something really bad happens when he escapes.
Okay. Give me a second to look at this.
You want to hand me that so I can look up escaped?
Yeah, sure.
I just remember reading it and thinking, that's bad.
Each color of hero you have.
Because basically, for everyone watching, this will fill with villains, and every time we put a new villain out, these slide over. And if they go past this bridge, which looks like the Manhattan Bridge, it'll go to escaped, and then something happens, which I'm looking up right now.
And I'm supposed to have strategies, I think is the...
Those are overrated.
Is the key here.
Trust your heart, man.
It's the key. Because I kind of want that shield officer. Oh, Maria Hill. She'll draw me a card in the other game.
Oh, and Champions? I was like, what? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Okay, I don't want damage right now, you know. That's the problem. What color hero I have. Okay.
When a villain escapes, we KO a hero from here that costs 6 or less. Whoever's turn it is chooses. And then put that hero in the KO pile face up. Immediately flip a new hero to fill the space, to fill the empty space in HQ.
If something escapes, they would just...
If the escaping villain had any captured bystanders, each player must discard a card from their hand as a penalty for failing. If they have an escape effect, they do better. So it's not that bad. We lose a card from me.
That's not terrible then. All right, I'm going to play the long game here. I'm going to cash in 3 shield agents.
Yep, that's what I should have done.
By a shield officer.
All right.
And then I've got 3 damage.
But you then have to KO a card from your hand.
It says KO one of my heroes. Are these heroes?
You'd have to do it from your hand.
From my hand.
So like if you could KO a shield trooper, but you can't play it and do it.
Yeah, I've got 3. Okay, then I'm done, right?
Does nothing. So let's go to your discard pile.
So I discard everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6. I get it. Okay.
So I'm gonna follow in your footsteps because I'm gonna pay 3 for a.
Wait, you gotta do the villain first.
Oh yeah. Oh, see. So Steven's gotta keep me honest. Another the same guy.
No, the same guy.
Great. I'll buy a Maria Hill, and then I don't have enough damage, so I'll discard and shuffle back up. Now I'm out of cards. So the Avengers Assemble and Maria Hill that I bought are now in my deck, which means I can possibly draw them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I get this.
Torian says, greetings from Germany. Thanks for your awesome content. First time watching live, my Arkham event got canceled. Sad to hear your Arkham event got canceled, but happy to hear that you're here with us.
Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay. Hey, Ryan Rober says you have to KO one of the cards that you played or a card in your hand.
You can KO a card that you play.
So you could KO the Shield Trooper that you played if you wanted to do that last
Okay,
time.
that's good. Yeah, that's fine. I'll hold on to it. All right, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for a sudden ambush. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, look, I got you a big cap. A day unlike any other. You get +3 attack for each other Avenger hero you played this turn.
Wow.
Good. And my 1 damage and 1 resource are not going to do anything, so I'll discard all of this. Reshuffle. I didn't reveal a villain either, did I?
Aha! Unhand thee. It's going to get out of control. The Goblin?
Ambush. Capture a bystander. Ah!
That's very Green Goblin-esque.
Okay, so this seems like it's something we need to deal with. Right? Do we need to save bystanders?
I mean, the bystander just we each have to discard a card when he escapes from our hand.
Okay, that's fine.
Medium.
You sure? That's different than an escape villain?
What? When he escapes, if he has a bystander, we have to discard.
Oh,
a card.
okay, okay.
It's about to start getting bad. We need to start moving. Ooh, that's pretty bad too. When you fight him, we reveal the top 2 cards of the villain deck.
Okay.
Okay. I will do this. I'm going to play Avengers Assemble. I get +1 resource for each color of hero that I have, which is currently 1. And then I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so make it 6. We'll buy a Maria Hill and this thing. No. What's this thing?
You want an Optic Blast? It's real quick. It's actually, it's not terribly complex.
No, it's really
I feel like I understand this.
I'll grab an Optic Blast. And I'll discard here. And then it's you.
Hey, Spidey. Ooh, Spidey, cool. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. Oh, hey, this could be good. This could be really good. Oh, I see. There's some synergies happening here.
We need a villain, eh?
Yes. Master Strike.
All right, Master Strike happens. You read the Mastermind's Master Strike ability. Each player KOs a hero from their hand.
Okay. Now, I'm going to guess since that's not a villain coming into play, it actually doesn't slide the
That's right.
stack over.
100%. That's
It's
good
always
for us.
best to guess when you're
playing
dealing with
games.
the rules.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, so KO is gone forever?
Yep.
Well, it's got to be this.
Yeah, 100%.
Shoot.
That's a pretty good way to, like, eventually you'll get a lot of really good cards in your deck, and you won't want the basic 1 resource and 1 damage cats in your hand.
I want Spidey.
Marv, welcome. Says he's late. Oh, no, Tribulation said they're late. Welcome.
But not yet. Don't buy Spidey, would you?
Why?
Because I want him. I'm trying to maximize resources here.
I'm trying to get colors in my deck.
So you can get the. Are you going for this Cap America thing?
No, I'm actually going to buy the Black Widow thing.
Okay, so you're not buying Spider-Man next turn?
I will want to buy this as well, but I won't buy it this next round.
Okay. Then I'll take Cyclops.
Alrighty, Roo.
Ooh, good.
Is that the same thing?
No, rescue a bystander, reveal the top card redex. It's a better version of this, actually.
Wow.
But this one's got the Hulk hand and with the resource, so that actually matters. And then, did I draw any extra cards this turn? No. No, I did not.
See, this is where, if you are actually playing this game slightly not cooperative, like, I could buy both those spider cards and want to, but I'm not going to.
No, you could. That's fine.
Because I'm a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I have no problem with that.
But you need them for some reason.
I don't need them. You know what? I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
All right.
We've only, we need
let's
to
reveal.
don't we?
We get another, I can't say this word. Never could. Never will.
Phalanx?
Phalanx. Got it.
Phalanx.
All right. I don't have damage, so
Can
we're going
somebody
to...
tell us what this
The
symbol
little
means?
robot chip symbol?
Reveal a robot chip hero? I mean, is that just mean... Oh, here.
Uh-huh.
So we've got to reveal that, or... Okay, so we have
when
to
you
have
fight
that
it,
in our hand, or...
I don't, so we're not
lose.
going to do that. I'm going to pay I'm just going to pay 3 for this card.
These games, I'm supposed to have a strategy.
Yep, and we're going to lose because of it, but that's cool. And then
Yeah.
I'll discard this card because it does nothing, and I'll draw back up. So now I don't have enough cards, so I'll shuffle and draw.
Can you tell me what the Hulk fist does again?
So basically, there are cards, those are called Superpowers. So those are called Superpowers.
Cool.
When you play that, like when you start by playing that, other cards will say if you have already played a card with that symbol, you get a bonus. I don't see any of those in play currently.
So you can chain, so this, and this, for instance. But
Yeah.
it doesn't give us an actual bonus.
Yeah,
It
now
doesn't
this
say
one,
it.
as an example, is like for each Avengers card that you've played before this with the A logo, you get a bonus.
And what about these little turny arrow things? Do we know anything about
That's
that?
just another symbol.
Okay.
So those
That was
synergize
easy.
with other things.
So my turn begins. So this thing escapes, yeah?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
So he goes to the KO area.
Wait,
Then-
actually, I guess he may not. Yeah.
Then we have to defeat one of the cards. You're the active player, so you get to pick.
Like KO gone
KO
forever?
one of these cards.
What do you like the least? This is one to kind of build around.
I feel like you want the 2 Spideys, so that's the one I would want to get rid of. I want that eventually, and I'm going to try to buy that.
I'm going to get rid of this Spidey.
Okay. Wait, wasn't that the good one?
No.
Just
And-
doesn't have the fist?
Then have a resource.
You cray.
All right, it's gone. Oh, a Wolverine. I already have that one. All right, so over to Steven, huh? Wait, man, I'm not buying. I noticed that I'm not buying the wait, what do we do? I'm not buying the damage cards, so we're not able to do damage.
Yeah, not yet. We're kind of just taking it in the teeth right now.
Is that normal?
I mean, we lose when that big stack is gone.
Okay, so we got nothing but time.
Yeah.
So Shield Officer is gonna wait. Do you want this real bad?
You're good.
Okay. I'll buy this. 2 for 2. Let's get a new one. Okay, and then we can rescue a bystander. That's nice. And then we'll do 2.
2 resources. 3 resources. Wait, you're supposed to buy these spider
I know, I'm
cards.
doing it now. All right, there's 2 for Spidey. Let's see if there's a 1
Oh, look at
cost
that
right now.
Wolverine.
Count the number of extra cards you do this turn. Draw that many cards. See, I think the Spidey Wolverine combos are where it's at. And then I've got 2 damage to put nowhere, yeah? So they're all gone.
Someone's asking, we're playing the Superhero Civil War. Evil wins if the hero deck runs out. That's the alternate lose condition here.
All right, villain.
Yep.
Scheme twist.
All right, Scheme Twist, KO everything. Here, fill me back up.
That's actually kind of, I mean, obviously it's not, oh yes. It's not, oh my gosh, look at him. It's not great, but it's kind of a moment of great potential, isn't it?
Just because everything clears out.
Look at that. Now, all of these chained together, give me that Spidey. Give me that Spidey deck. I'm gonna double down on Spider-Man because all
right.
of these cards in the same deck is gonna be unbelievable.
I will allow you to do that. You're not going to be able to buy all those, though. I'm going to buy one of them. Which one do you want the least?
I'm just saying they should all be in the same deck because look at the ability. They're all 2 cost or less. They would all be drawn for free with themselves. And I've already got one. You just get your little,
But I need colors.
America happiness.
Colors. All right, I'm going to do this. I could buy so many of these. I'm going to spend 4. I'm going to get this cap card because he's on it. And then nothing is 2 damage. I need a little more damage. All right. So then we'll flip the top card.
Yep. Phalanx escapes.
So we'll fill this first, and then we have to defeat one. That card looks powerful.
Silent Sniper. Defeat a villain or mastermind that has a bystander. A mastermind can have a bystander?
I guess so.
You can just defeat a mastermind with that card? Wow. Okay, so we're not.
You just
doing
got to
bad.
build to get to that point.
So we had somebody escape. Do we have to?
We have to KO
I've got to
something.
KO something here. Do you have a favorite?
I mean, I'm not going to pay 7 for that anytime soon.
Okay.
It's a good card.
But if it's out of the game forever, that
Yeah.
could be a problem.
Eh,
Yeah, let's make these mistakes now.
yep. That way at least people watching it.
Ah,
Well, it's cheaper.
it's just a cheaper version. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is going to be a harder one.
Now, this next time through, I'm going to actually have some damage coming.
Okay.
And if you're watching and you've played Legendary, I'd be really curious to your take on Legendary versus Champions. There's a lot of people watching in the chat, and I'm sure that this is a question a lot of them are having as well. So if you have a lot of experience, I want to know what you think. One thing I'll note here is that I feel like it's one of my, obviously it's, you either really enjoy this about deck builders or not, but the amount of like, I'm not really feeling like I'm playing the game yet that's happening is pretty high. And it's like you have to like, there's this the window in the middle where you actually feel like you're playing.
It's very true. Yeah, and that's cool. You're kind of building the engine. I get it. So, you know.
It gamified the deck building aspect.
Paying 4 for this, I have to discard a card from my hand, which is this.
Okay.
To use Cyclops.
Seems good.
Oh, just the hits. Then I'll play a Optic Blast from Cyclops.
Okay.
Let's ace something. I must discard a card from my hand, which is going to be a Shield Trooper. And I'm going to do 3 to... you may gain a Shield Officer when I fight this thing. I'm going to do that.
Oh, one of these? Yeah, do that.
All right, so fight resolves, so I gain a Shield Officer.
Super
and
good.
then it's dead.
And that spot's open.
Does it KO?
Yeah, it goes to the KO. Okay. Actually, it goes to your little victory pile.
Ah, yeah.
So this is obviously super nice because now we have a spot.
Yeah.
So every round that we can defeat something, villains aren't going to escape.
Okay, so now villain up.
Yep.
It's Doc Ock.
What's his ability there?
When you fight him, when you draw a new hand of cards at the end of this turn, draw 8 instead of 6. So you get a better hand by doing 4 to him and 2 victory. This is like a great kill.
I don't have the...
I kind of understand how this works now. I feel like choosing the right villains to kill to make you do better than your opponent is also a piece of this game, right? Because like you get an 8-card hand and you get 2 points for 4 damage.
But also balancing not losing the game.
Yeah.
Like you needed to go a certain amount well before.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much do you really want the Spider-Man cards? High?
I would love if 2 of them were available next turn.
All right, I'm going to pay 6 and get this Captain America card. I know it does. Sight unseen. And then it'll be into my round. So reveal a villain.
Push. So what happens when the bystander leaves?
So we're each going to have to discard a card from our hand.
Okay.
And we have to defeat something that has 6 or less over here. It's your turn, so you get a pick.
All right, so I discard a card first. Is that the first thing that happens? For a bystander?
Mm-hmm.
And you will as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we remove something here. How are you feeling on these cards? Do you have any... I know what I want to do.
Let's get rid of one of these. What's up?
We're totally ruining that deck.
The Widow?
Ah!
Whew. That's a lot of Spidey action.
I mean, this is crazy.
Can you get them all?
No, I can't. But I can get 2 of them. Do you want the green one? Would that be helpful for you? Do you want any of them?
I just needed various colors, and they were cheap.
All right, 2 for this one.
Here we are.
Draw a card. You get +2 fight. Oh, that's good. There's synergy happening. Then we'll do 2 for this Spider-Man. Oh, yeah.
Here comes the claws, man.
And then that's my turn.
Dude, these two, Spider-Man and Wolverine, are insane together.
I know. It's centered.
The dream.
Did they suggest that in the starting manual? Like how to start?
No, I just randomly picked 5 heroes that I
good
liked.
for you. Okay, new villain.
All right, here we go. Bystander.
Oh.
With whatever is, what's this thing? Supreme Hydra. +3 points for each other Hydra villain in your victory pile.
Why is there a bystander in here? I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, they're in there. That's where they come from.
And that you just attach them to the...
To the closest villain.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty fun.
I'm going to start winning.
I'm going to play Optic Blast, and I will KO this card to play it, which is 3. And then I'm going to play Dangerous Rescue, which I can KO a card from my hand or discard pile. If I do, I can rescue a bystander. So I'll KO a card.
Nice.
And I'll rescue here.
Getting the garbage out.
And
Do
then
you get points for that?
well, I'm
you
doing.
do. You get 1 point.
Yeah. And then I'm
Look at
doing
you.
5. I'm going to play Perfect Teamwork. I get +1 for each color hero that I have, which is 3. So now we're at 8.
Taking out the skull, or are you going to do a 4/4 here?
Well, I think I'd have to divide it. I could do...
You could do 4/4, or you could do 7.
I'm just going to... We'll go with a 7 here. Let's get rid
Dude,
of the
look at
skull.
that Doc Ock, though. You draw a new hand of 8 cards, and you get 2 villain cards,
Well, you get 2 villain cards. What are you talking about?
or 2 victory points.
Oh,
Sorry,
2 points.
that's a completely different thing. This is a very different game. This is not even. This is not even
in the
close.
ballpark.
It's
So I'm
not
going to
even
defeat a
close.
red skull, and I'm going to get... someone says, Steven, are you listening?
Yes. Oh wait, what are they saying? What do I need to?
Are you drawing completely through your deck before you shuffle?
Oh no, I thought you said if we can't draw 6, we reshuffle.
You draw those cards and then you shuffle.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine.
I would.
Can
I
you
don't know
read
which
what
one I
happens
would
when I
prefer.
defeat a version of the villain?
Yeah.
I believe I randomly draw one of these.
Thank you. Who was that? Marty?
Ryan Roper.
Steven, are you listening?
Marv Art says, Steven, are you listening?
Steven, can you hear me? Villain. New villain.
When you defeat the mastermind.
Okay, hold on, I'm on villains still. Play cards. Recruiting heroes. Fight a villain. Masterminds, here we go. You have to attack Alpha, okay. When you fight a mastermind, choose a random card from the 4 face-down mastermind tactics cards underneath the mastermind.
Yep.
Put that mastermind tactic card into your victory pile. It's worth several victory points. Then follow the fight effect listed on the mastermind tactic card. What does it say?
It says,
Lose
draw
the
2
game?
cards. Draw another card for each Hydra villain in my victory pile, which is 0. So
Nice.
sweet.
Hold on. Cool,
So I'm still rolling here. This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
it's way better when I can
Avengers
cheat.
Assemble, I get +1 resource for each color that I've used so far.
That's 4.
So 4, 6. Let's just Wolverine it up, shall we?
You can spin, essentially, do you want to spin them in sequence so a new one can pop up?
Yeah, sure.
That seems right.
Spin.
At least start with that shield, obviously. That's just a straight
we'll
up
go
2, right?
Yep.
Oh, there's a 3.
I'll still grab the 4.
All right.
All right.
And there's more cap. Diving block. It's a 4 attack.
That's what I really wanted. And then this does nothing.
If
So
you
there
would gain a wound, you may reveal this card and draw a card instead. What's a wound? Oh, how do we do that?
it comes from the villain deck, or certain villains do it.
I feel like we should be getting aced by these escape villains a lot harder. Like, I'm not scared about it at all. Does that concern you at all?
I mean, it will eventually lose if we lose all these cards.
Well, sure. All right, villain deck. Here we go. Master Strike. They're gone.
No, that's not it. Master Strike, each player KOs a card from their hand.
Why are we? This is the weirdest way to build a KO pile.
We're just
Discard a
stacking
card.
them.
We KO a card from our hand.
Yep, it's gone.
Ugh. But I like all the cards.
That's the struggle.
Dang it.
The shield agent.
Okay, let's get into it.
Look at the art on these guys. Endless armies of Hydra.
All right.
Hey, you got the Spideys going.
Yeah, but I need them in my deck, not in my hand. I need 1 in my hand. All right, so I'm going to spend 2 to buy this boy.
What do they say?
And it says reveal the top card of my deck. If it's 2 or less, draw it. It's not.
So
Oh,
then
I
it
guess
goes-
I should do that differently. Well, it will never be it, right?
Yeah,
So,
it'll just keep doing its thing.
bummer.
So you just want all the cheap cards.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna be slumming a little bit here. I will take. I may take another Optic Blast here.
Yeah, people saying some comments that I'm going to read in a second. Let me find where I wanted to start.
3 for a Optic Blast.
This is a good comment. So Alan says, Legendary is more like you're controlling a team of heroes. For champions, it makes you feel like you are the hero.
I agree. I definitely get that feeling. I feel like I'm playing a system right now, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's fine. But I will say the theme, like I don't have that same like, I definitely feel like I'm managing numbers and variables and they have a skin on them.
Yeah, whereas like when we play champions, there's moments where it's like I feel
I feel like She-Hulk.
Like when the first time for me was when I felt like Spider-Man. I did the double kick, the big 8
the
damage
double web
thing,
kick,
and it's like I just feel like he just came in and did his thing.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now we have that. Now your turn starts. Reveal a villain. It's a scheme twist. That's all of these guys getting wrecked, right?
We're going. So those are going pretty quick.
Yeah, I think we're... But we need to kill Red Skull 3 more times?
Yep.
I don't know that we should even care about this. Right?
I mean, like, Doc Ock is a great example of something you basically get a reset mid-turn to do it again, which is pretty solid.
So the villains really are more about helping you win, not about preventing danger. I get the sense.
Yeah.
All right, I need things that draw me cards. I like this one. Save this one for Steven.
You keep doing that.
And this one. I need all the Wolverines now.
I'm gonna grab these.
There's probably a name for that kind of player.
You want to flip for me? Yeah, the kind of player that is selfish.
Oh, that's the word. I get it. Oh, she's drawing a card too. Okay, I've got a lot of card draws. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Is it me? Villain. Escaped.
All right, so we have to defeat something from here that costs 6 or less.
From this thing?
Yep.
How
They're always escaping when you're going. I don't understand why that's happening.
about this? That seems fine. Hey, this is good for you, right? Another Avengers Assemble?
Yep. It is.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, let's do 2 for a Wolverine draw card, and then Wolverine symbol, you get +2. What does that mean?
So if you've played a card with that symbol already, you get +2.
But he is that symbol.
Well, it has to be like
Okay.
already. This is a really good. Andrew Larcher on Facebook says, since it's a deck builder, you can jump right in to play without the prep of building a deck. But Marvel Champions has made it easier than ever before to build decks. So they've greatly reduced the time there. I think that's why this was so popular when it came out. Is you got the card game feel without having to invest the time to like prepare card game decks, kind of a thing.
Let's hit a Red Skull. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right.
Oh wait, I got to hold on. I can't do that. Don't do it.
Cheater.
I've got to discard a card from my hand to do that.
Well, just kill Doc Ock and draw cards.
I will. Let's kill Doc Ock here. I'll take him for my victory display. Where's the other card that was over here?
I don't know.
Oh
I
no.
may have paid someone to take it.
Oh no. A -1 victory point. And then I'll discard.
Wait, what does Doc Ock say?
Object Blast. When I draw my new hand, I get 8 cards instead of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Master Strike, which is each player KOs a hero card from their hand.
All right. Shield Trooper gone.
Yeah, my troopers are almost all but gone.
You kind of want that.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it. All right, let's play a game, shall we? What's the fight ability on that thing?
Play the top 2 cards of the villain deck. So it's going to push the line twice, basically.
Ugly.
That is ugly. Don't like it.
Okay. Well, it's very limited on what I can do
there it is.
here. Let's see. That's 0 helpful to either of us.
What is?
KOing that guy. It's actually actively bad.
Can you get a Red Skull down?
Nope. I have 4 damage.
Can you reveal a barcode?
Nope. Not without playing the. That's how I do the 4 damage.
How many of you guys out there in the chat are planning to play both Legendary and Marvel Champions?
This game?
Yeah,
I mean,
Legendary.
this is a board game, right? And I feel like it's concluded.
So
or it's very
is it
rare-
concluded?
At best, it's like occasionally putting something out.
Oh.
So like playing this isn't like
It's not even really a choice then.
an
is it?
active pursuit. I do think they still put stuff out occasionally, but it's not like monthly. Like that's another difference, right? Marvel Champions.
Also,
is
at
an
this point,
LCG.
if you have it all, you're gonna probably just keep buying the random expansion that comes out.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's pay 3 for my friend Cap. Can you fill up that slot?
Yeah.
And then I'll pay 2. And then I'll do 4 damage here.
Dude, look at all these Avengers symbols.
And we'll put 2 cards out.
So you put the 2 out before you can fight. It happens first. So I think one of these things will escape.
It wouldn't have escaped.
Oh, good.
Because of the scheme twist. Which, those are all gone.
Wipe them?
Yep. See that deck that's about to be gone?
Yeah.
That's our concern now. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely feel like we're going to lose here, for sure.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty all right.
It is one of those things where it can just start going.
Yeah, I feel like the combination of cards, like I'm about to do a lot of damage. I think I'm going to defeat another Red Skull.
So yeah, no mercy. This is the wrong time for me to buy that. All right, let's try here. Let's go 2.
Ryan says I'm out of touch with how much Legendary comes out a year. How much does come out, Ryan? I have no clue. I occasionally see new releases coming through. It just doesn't feel like it's something I see all the time, like I used to. I used to see it a lot.
Play this for discarding. Oh, I didn't do my villain. Whoops. Scheme twist. They're all gone. Reverse the chain on that one. Bummer.
You buy that?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it was this. Or it was this guy. And this was here.
Josh saying the latest set they made for this game is called Revelations, and it's one of the best they've made yet. At least 8 products a year. Scratch everything I just said.
Wrong.
This game is hot and heavy in production.
So we do have to make a choice. A lot of players will be making a choice to
Between the 2, yeah.
either keep buying this, start buying this, or switch to champs.
Comment here about Legendary says, a bad habit of feeling like you're underwater until the very last second, then all your combos start hitting and your game comes together and you can win.
Okay, well that's good. It makes me more excited. Reveal a create one of your heroes with an icon. There's just no reason to be there. All right, let's pay 3.
Okay.
Discarding a shield trooper to pick up an optic blast for 3. Ooh. Let's pay 2. I'll take that Spidey.
All right.
And let's pay 3, 4. I'm going to discard a shield trooper from my hand to pick up. I don't have a lot of bystanders in my discard pile. Let's pick up a cat. Yeah.
This deck's getting thin.
And then I can't do damage to anything, so I'll discard that. I'll draw this 1, reshuffle, and draw 5 more. And then villain comes in for you. Master Strike.
Each player KOs a hero card from their hands.
Let me get some more.
Jeez.
So how are you feeling right now?
I think we're about to lose.
Give me the.
I mean, there's like barely any cards left in that deck over there. We have to defeat Red Skull 3 times. Although I feel like you're about to actually start doing things.
Oh my gosh.
Am I right?
No, I've just been collecting money. I'm playing like a dwarf deck in Lord of the Rings right now.
Which is not good.
Yeah, so I need to buy nothing but damage next turn and then hope that it works out.
Okay, sweet. I feel you. I mean,
when I got all my shield agents, it's kind of a bummer. That's fine though.
I'm gonna pay 5 for this cap card.
I think we ramped too much.
A little too much ramping happening here.
Too late.
All right, let's go. I have a 2.
I bet we'd do pretty well if we played it again.
I can't do anything with these. So sweet.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. All right, that's my turn.
Villain? Mm-hmm. Endless Armies of Hydra. Coming out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is not good.
Not good. All right, well, here's 6. all of my shield stuff. Let's do. This is
so you have 6 resources and no damage.
No damage. Let's pick up this boy and this. Let's try to increase the frequency of damage. And then I've got a 2 damage, which is going to do nothing. And then I'll draw 6 cards. We'll fill this up, which I did wrong. And then we'll give you a villain.
Great. Makes everything slide. We have to defeat another card that costs 6 or less. Let's just get rid of it. Nah, do I have money?
Oh, dude, we're done for.
Yeah, it's just totally over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 cards left. So now is the time. Now is the moment.
Nope.
Bryce is not confident that this is going to happen.
No, I'm going to pay 2 and grab this.
We need to be attacking, Zach.
I don't have
Quit
attacks.
buying.
That's the problem.
Quit buying.
That's all I got, unfortunately. Quit. This is not a buyer's market.
All right, don't worry.
Actually, I have attacks.
I got
in my
6
discard pile.
big attacks coming down the pipe here.
Asking if we're playing only the base stuff. No, there are some expansions happening here. I borrowed this from a friend, Brandon, and it's mixed in where I don't know the difference. But we are playing against the Red Skull, who's a core set villain, or mastermind, so to speak.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here comes the combos.
It's your time.
Now,
all the money. I have a lot of money.
All right. Here's 3. Reveal the top card of my deck if it's 2 or less. Oh, get to draw it.
That's pretty good. What do you use the money on?
I can buy anything. This thing.
Great.
All right, 3, 4, 5. Now, is gray a color?
No.
Are you sure?
It's clear color. If you ask the right person that works here, you might get a different answer than you'd expect.
5, 6, 7. Okay, I think this is right. So tell me this. 3 damage, 4 damage. This would be 5, 6, 7.
I think so.
For the colors, and then I have to discard a card here.
Okay.
Then I reveal and draw it, which it is.
And you get one of these at random because you're defeating a Red Skull.
Okay. Look at the top 3 cards of my deck. KO 1, discard 1, put 1 on top.
Okay, that's fine. You can put that in your victory display.
KO 1, this one. Discard 1, put this one on top. Okay, yep, and this. Okay, so we hit a second Red Skull, yeah? We're good. We're fine. We only need to do 2 more.
Yeah,
And then I've got a 1 resource. That's not going to buy anything.
No.
Dang. Okay.
All right, ready?
2. Did I even reveal a villain? Nobody knows. Are you ready?
I think so.
Scheme Twist. Oh, is that the bad one?
Yeah, discard all those and see if we die.
Yeah, we're 1 away, I think. So don't buy anything, basically. You can't buy anything. And we got to kill something here.
Great.
Wait, do we have to run out or have to draw and then not be able to?
I think when it runs out, we lose. If your deck runs out, we lose.
All right, we lost.
We did it. All right, so this is actually great. So
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We kind of blitzed through that, and I realized as we were going through that, like, I'm used to that when we're playing the cards popping up and stuff, which aren't happening when we're playing this.
Yeah.
So people watching may have been like, I kind of know what's happening, but not really. If you knew what was going on.
Probably anyone who's played Legendary probably has a good idea.
Yep. So pluses and minuses off of our 1 playthrough here.
So this, first of all, it's entirely different. So the comparison is based around the kind of experience that you want to have. This is faster. It's much faster. I think it's simpler, ultimately. I mean, I think there's a basic flow to the game. You go around the table. It plays more like a traditional board game. You can get some friends together, sit around, not have to think about building a deck beforehand, doing a lot of the preliminary work. All of that is just kind of come around the table and we'll kind of see some superheroes and feel a little bit of theme while we build an engine and play through essentially the thing about deck builders to me, they always feel so much like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like I've always felt that way. You can put any theme on it that you want, but the reality is that you're balancing inputs and outputs. And it's true, most games, that is the thing. But I think the sign of a really good game is if you can hide that, like really hide it.
Yeah. Well, the less you feel like you're manipulating a spreadsheet, the more you feel like you're kicking someone in the face with Spider-Man or as Spider-Man.
The thing that I noticed as I was going along is I was looking almost exclusively at these two symbols. I was looking at, is this a resource card and how much does it cost? I didn't even read the titles, you know? So like, it was like, okay, there's some art here.
Yeah.
But
well, and that's where like, because every card really, you know, like, I feel like the amount of theme you can build into the way a cards function is a lot less in this case.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, because that's part of why you weren't looking at the title, is that it was just like, well, what does it do?
Yeah.
I don't really care if it's like swinging web kick or, you know, razor claws. It's like,
is it providing damage or resources? And there's probably some additional expansions that add some symbols or some interesting interactions. Like fighting the main villain, it doesn't feel like there's an epic showdown we're having with Red Skull, right? It's just kind of a money pot that you go press whenever you have 7 attack, and then you get a card out of it. But I guess Red Skull determines this deck. Is that correct to some degree?
It always leads Hydra. So there's a Hydra thing that goes in there.
Okay.
And then you pick another one, and then you have a henchman that go in. So these are the henchmen. You do a henchman pack of whatever, and then certain things go in based on player counts.
That makes sense.
But, you know, I think the reality of that you basically just play out your hand every turn means that the number of ways you can make, because like, you know, in Champions, you can have Iron Man on the table. So he's being Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then you can also put upgrades on Iron Man. And those stay in play, and it's like, oh, he has his, like, you know, his rocket boots or his helmet or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's like, I feel like playing all the cards out of your hands limits what they can put on a card. And like, it gives you less things to build in, basically.
Here's the other thing too, is like this is somewhat important. It depends on the type of player you are too. So there's a large number of players that love deck builders like this, and basically it's like, choose your favorite theme and go play the deck builder. And obviously this can be a super fun experience if you love that exact thing. I think like Jonathan would like deck builders a lot. Like, you know, you're kind of building this engine. There's not a lot of pressure. Like, I don't feel like if I make a mistake in this game, everyone's gonna like look at me and be like, oh, you lost this for us, kind of thing, you know? Whereas like if you make a really stupid play in Champions, there is a risk that the people you're playing with at the table are like, no, you should do it this way, or you should have done it that way, or why did you do it like that? So there is that element of it. It seems a little bit more casual, more relaxed. But I also don't really know what I represent in this game. Like, am I a strategist,
Totally.
You know, who's deciding how to deploy these Avengers?
It's almost like someone earlier said that like it feels like you're controlling a group of heroes, kind of simultaneously. But I think the real, like a word to put to this is how abstract it is. So this is much more abstract. And that's what I mean by like Iron Man's not in play with 2 gauntlets on. Like that's very literal. And the gauntlet does what the gauntlet does. Whereas this, right, like let me just randomly look at this card. Astonishing Strength from Spider-Man. It's like, that's a very, it's just conceptual and it's happening. And you might play that with a Cyclops card, with a Wolverine card.
Determination, animal instincts.
So it is more abstract, which means it can be simpler, which means that you don't have to think about it as much. And I think that it definitely, I mean, there's a reason deck builders are popular. And that's a certain style of like mental challenge that people really enjoy. And like, it's cool because I picked 5 random heroes to put in the hero deck.
Yeah.
And you pick 5, so that can be randomized every time. The villain, you had 1 that was dictated by the Red Skull, 1 little group of cards, and then you get a second group of cards because we're at 2 players. You get a henchman, which can change every time. The number of these happening, even the scheme. So that was that scheme, right? So now knowing that, randomly, next scheme, 8 twists go into the deck, includes Sinister Six as one of the villain groups. This is the...
I think the replayability here is immense.
Like, off the charts.
Certainly given when you have the expansion especially, the replayability is immense. I think this is a great kind of game to, you know, to essentially kind of relax into And, maybe we're all having some brews and we're sitting around and I don't have to think too much. It's like, oh, I'll take that card, I'll take that card. I kind of hope it works out in the end. And people who are good at them will understand when it's time to go for damage and when it's time to collect the synergies.
And I definitely think that if we played 20 games of this, we would start seeing things we hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nuance and skill, because I know people I've played with these people that are good at these games.
Yeah, you got to know when to ramp.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because you can play this alongside someone who's never played a card game ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things Champions is doing super well, is that the hero packs are decks.
Mm-hmm.
So you could technically, I think it'll be easy for people to have decks ready for other people to play, so you can remove that barrier. But there is a lot less, there's a lot more abstractness here.
Because I was thinking, so I was teaching Grant and Rafe here.
Champions?
Yeah, last week. I guess it was late last week. And when I actually had to teach Champions, I realized that there was a lot of nuance going on.
Yeah.
Like things that I had forgotten to mention. So like I got everybody up and running, and it was like, okay, you draw the cards, and then you have attachments, you have event cards, and then I was going through and it was like I hadn't talked about what the symbols on the side schemes mean. And so like that's a weird little kind of nuance thing. What does that exclamation point mean? What is that? And then over here I hadn't talked about hero actions versus alter ego actions or any of that kind of stuff. So then, people were playing cards out of hand, and it's like, oh, you can't do that actually, because technically you have to flip into this different mode to play that card.
Yep.
So it's way more complex in that way. And that's where I think Legendary has the advantage if you're looking for a more board game experience. I mean, this is something that if I had 3 people over at my house, and maybe 1 or 2 of them weren't really that into tabletop games, but they all liked superheroes.
Yeah.
Like Joey and Jared, like the people who I grew up with, who
that would play a game,
would love to play a game and would appreciate the theme, but aren't really looking to have a 20 to 30 minute tutorial session of how to attach this to that and whatnot. I think I would sit down and play this for a number of hours, and we'd have a great time.
Sure.
But if I'm looking to have a more in-depth experience where I am taking the role of a superhero and I'm feeling the intensity and the excitement of that experience and really taking that with me, right? Like feeling this in-depth kind of, not really escape, but a diving into a comic book. Like if I want to go inside and be this hero and feel what that's like and see that story play out, I do feel like Champions is going to be a way better game for me.
Well, and I think you mentioned it earlier as well, but the same thing goes for the villain, which is like, kind of maybe felt like we were fighting Red Skull a little bit here, not really. And maybe this is obviously the most starter of villains. So like compared to Champions, it's like a Rhino. It's like, okay, like he's trying to beat us up. But that is something it's a scale, right? I think the more abstract you make it, the simpler you can go. I think of like Swords and Stronghold, one of your favorite games. And the more, what's the opposite of abstract? Concrete?
I
don't have a word for that.
You kind of, as you add
granular?
things, as you add things to a game, you have the potential to make it more immersive, but also more complex. Right?
Yeah, because I think about something like Arkham, and it's like, it's pretty, I mean, there's a lot going on there. And there's like a map, and you move around, and you set up stuff, and like, there may be a train, or there may be a graveyard, or whatever's going on. But what they're able to do with that much granularity and detail is like they tell a story in that game.
Yeah, it's a much more immersive story.
Yeah, whereas like I think like if I were scaling it, right, it's like, to me Arkham is basically an RPG into a card game. Like it's the best I've seen of that. And then this is like way lower. Like it's not really telling a story. Like it's not like Spider-Man and Wolverine beat Red Skull. Where I feel like Marvel Champions is accomplishing that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, Spider-Man and Iron Man teamed up, and they went and beat this villain, and this was the thing that was going on.
So then with all that said, I think the question you have to ask is, does the complexity added to Marvel Champions give you the payoff of theme and story if you're looking for that? And because a lot of games will try to go heavier into the story by becoming more complex, and there'll be all these rules that are more realistic. Like I think of miniatures games get into this a lot.
200-page rule book about how
BattleTech will make you feel like you're in a mech, but for a lot of people, it goes too far for the complexity versus story theme. I think Champions, if you want to have a very in-depth feeling like a superhero and telling a very specific and epic story I think it does accomplish that without adding too much complexity that makes it out of reach for most people, most players. So I think the trade-off is there. I think it's a valid game. It's a valid choice to make. And so if you're looking for something more in-depth and more story-driven, I think Champions is a great place to look for that, 100%. If you're not looking for that, if you're looking to sit around a table with friends and churn out a couple of games like this, obviously Deck Builder is going to be great for that. And Legendary seems like a storied and well thought of deck builder.
Yeah, well, and
it's fine.
If you love Marvel and you love deck builders, then
it's kind of hard to argue.
I would assume that Legendary is already in your collection.
You already have it. Yeah.
But I think the kind of end thesis on this comparison for me is that they are very different kinds of games. Even being pretty much co-op card games that is based on Marvel, they are night and day different. I think they're very different experiences for all the reasons we've been outlining. So, and if you've been playing Legendary for a while, I think Champions might be a nice let me take a break from this thing.
And I would also say that if you're used to playing Legendary with a group, it's not guaranteed that everybody's just like, all right, I also enjoy Champions. I think you have to have players in your group that are willing to go a little bit more in depth, that are willing to dedicate a little bit more of their time, that are interested in the preliminary deck building aspect of these heroes. And as long as everybody's in that space, it's kind of like at the start of a role-playing session. You really need to frame out, are we just looking to kill stuff and loot stuff, or are we looking to have an emotional story arc?
Sure.
Because we can go any direction with this, and if everybody's on the same page as to what they're looking for from that experience, then it's way better. If half the players are looking for a light Legendary and you force Champions on them, nobody's going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, I don't know what to do. Can we just play Legendary? So make sure your group's ready for it, but I think it's a nice thing to try, and certainly out of the core set for that price, it's a very nice way to get 4 players to try Champions for $15 each.
Sure.
I think that's reasonable.
Well, and it's also, I think, again, kind of rounding it out, is this is very much a board game.
Yeah.
And I think Champions is very much a card game. And this is really highlighting that for me, which is...
it's got a board, see?
It literally has a board.
Board game.
But really, one thing, for us, because we recently added Power Rangers, is a game that we've
Heroes of the Grid.
Heroes of the Grid. And it's a board game, miniatures game-ish, that is expanding, right? They're doing expansions.
It is kind of a card game, because you have to manage your hand.
But you don't build.
You don't build.
It's built for you, right?
Or construct. Building, I feel like this is deck building. Deck construction is the other type.
Yeah, customization.
Yeah.
But that's where, it definitely, to me, there's less and less lines between, we say the words expandable game quite a bit. And it's Legendary is an expandable game. Mm-hmm. Unquestionably, it's an expandable game. It's apparently having 8 releases a year. But at the same time, to me, Champions is a card game. This is a deck builder. And Champions is certainly a card game. You build your deck. You have control over what's going on. It is a lot more granular than a board game. And so, really night and day difference.
Do you think when we say expandable game, do you think you can have what we're talking about without new cards that you can potentially use in a deck that you're constructing? Without that element, does the expandability of it actually not matter as much?
I mean, the expandability, there's a lot of benefits to expandability. One of which that we're talking about with card games is depth. Mm-hmm. But there's also the reality of, let's say you play Legendary, having so many expansions you can add to keep it fresh the value in that to me is that you don't have to relearn a system. You get even more use out of the stuff that you've already purchased. Because I picture Power Rangers, same thing. It's they could put out a new Ranger team every 3 to 4 months, and it's all of a sudden all those villains that you've beat 10 times are still interesting because now there's a new team of 5 Rangers to go fight against with them.
Yeah.
And you have to approach that. That's what's weird about this for me is that obviously the hero deck can change, and so Spider-Man maybe is really good with Wolverine, but you might not always have those two together. Mm-hmm. And so figuring out very quickly the kind of strategies. But I feel in time, I would get to the point where I start to understand with this game, when I have Spider-Man, I'm looking for someone else who has 2-cost cards.
Yeah.
And I'm just gobbling them up, and I'm going to be the Spider-Man player this game.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the thing that has deterred me for a lot of reasons, but from a deck builder in general, is I feel the first third of the game you're not even really playing. If you feel like that's playing a game when you're building like that,
I kind of like it. Yeah.
then I
a
think
big
that's why
fan of that.
people like the deck builders, right? But it's almost like limited. In like
It did feel like that, like we were drafting cards essentially.
yeah,
That's
which is
essentially
really
happening.
what was exactly happening. So.
But then by the time you're kind of there, the game is over. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh wow,
I
there it
always
goes.
wish there was more of that phase.
And I'm sure there are deck builders that do go much longer.
Yeah.
I think I've played a few. I just don't know. They're all, it all kind of blends together. So there's some thoughts. You got any comments that are worth?
Let's open up for a second. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to share. I'm gonna try to pull.
There's been a
some
lot
from
coming
these.
through, so thanks for
There's
leaving those
a
comments,
ton.
everyone.
It's really cool. So the chat's interacting with each other, obviously.
Yeah,
and
great.
that's really helpful.
That's what we're here for. We're just a little house for everybody to hang out in.
That's like.
It's kind of a weird. I guess it's kind of a weird analogy.
Vincent says, you guys have been talking or recently talked about the fiddliness in one of your recent podcasts. Maybe
Yeah.
Legendary just needs more satisfying tokens.
Maybe so. I mean, that is true. That is true. Sentinels will test that theory.
Yeah,
'Cause
are we
will
doing
have-
Sentinels next?
Yeah, let's do Sentinels next. What time is it?
3:18.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do Sentinels next. Now, the interesting thing about Sentinels, I think it's almost, I won't say it's in very much the same family.
As champions?
Except you don't build a deck in Sentinels. You take the hero that you want.
But I mean, if you were playing champions, like buy the Captain America pack and leave it alone,
It'd be like that.
it's kind of like that, but it gives you the option to customize.
Mm-hmm.
I have only played Sentinels like once several years ago.
I played it like 3 or 4 times a couple of years ago.
So I'm curious to play it and see what we think comparatively.
It does need some chunkiness. I agree with that. Here's the ultimate test, Zach. Here's the ultimate test. Do you feel like you could play a version of this game with other people, barring what we know, which is just simply being in the same space?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like this game could function as well and as satisfyingly on an app or on a screen? Because the only thing that manages this game is our hands moving cards from A to B. Right? That's the only thing that's happening in the game. And it's not significant, it's just management. It's administration of the game itself. There's no like doing damage to something or gathering resources, so I don't feel physically involved with the game quite as much as I otherwise
interesting.
might.
That could be its own little podcast or series of stuff, because there is a certain amount of like, again, it's just abstract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you punch Rhino for 3 damage and you put a 3 on him, there's a feeling
It's
to
not that abstract, that's very real.
Yeah, versus like I discard 3 cards and I move this to here.
Yeah. That's why it feels a little systemized, yeah.
Yeah, which it is a system.
That's also why I could churn out 7 of these in like 2 hours and have a great time.
That's what there's
right
definitely
people.
a value here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like I think I could sit down, like you were saying, I could sit down with the right 2 or 3 people and just jam this game for 4 or 5 hours, drink some beer, have some music on, chill, and it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to. I mean, I think this is go back to the value of the expandability in terms of customization of the deck, and it's like when I can obsess about a game when I'm not playing it.
I was about to say the same thing.
Because like maybe we'll talk about the way this went right after we're done.
It's like you don't feel like you can sink your teeth into this.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, this is certainly not like a lifestyle, right? This is not something that is like, I'm going to consume myself with and try to figure out the best way to build Captain America, right? Like I don't have that available. This is just kind of like, it's played in the moment and then put away. And I don't feel like, it's kind of like, there's some role-playing systems like this too that are too light for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can't actually get in there and feel like I'm discovering new and exciting things with interactions that I didn't know about or I'd forgotten about or I didn't read properly. And this is just kind of, it's just lighter. It's lighter.
It's a lot lighter. And I mean, I think that's where it's
like lighter.
You know, what's interesting about it is the way the cards combine and not as much like, I'm thinking about like, let's say we're talking about some random card, like Emergency and Champions, and it's like, is this card worth playing? Right?
Yeah.
And
We
it's
could
like,
talk for 6 hours about that.
yeah, it's like, well, it's an energy resource, and it's like in certain decks, and especially in 1 or 2 player, yes, but like 3 player, it's like, is 0 cost for remove a threat? Like, is that always worth it?
The opportunity for bloviation is way lower.
Yeah, but like I don't remember a single card that I played in this game. I kind of remember the cap cards where it was like I play a card and then for every color I do damage a resource. But like I'm not thinking about how to like manipulate that the next time I play.
I know that when Cyclops comes out, I have to discard a card.
Here's a comment from What Game Next. Said the barrier to entry to champions could be an issue for some people. It's a problem with Arkham. People don't want to build their own decks.
Arkham almost combines the problem of a customizable card game being hard to get into and the problem of a role-playing game to get into. Because it's like, do you want to meet on a consistent basis and explore a story together? Yes, no. And heaven forbid if you find people to say yes, do you also want to buy these cards and construct decks in your off time? And it's like, those two things together are kind of hard to find for a lot of people.
But that's obviously why I think I really like Champions doing the pack as a deck.
They fix a lot of those problems.
Because you can technically always play like that.
And you don't have to meet consistently. That's the ups and downs of the story. It's like if you and I are playing Arkham and we don't meet and play for 6 months, we forgot everything that happened.
Yeah.
Right? So like it's not fresh of mind. We have to meet at least like once a month on Arkham to feel like, okay, what did we do last time? Oh, that snake stuff. And then we got poisoned. And that all was garbage.
Yeah, but Champions, you could literally go away for a year, come back, and it's like, who's the new villain we get to beat up?
Let's fight.
It doesn't matter. This is part of why it's good the game's been out for so long. Said that Legendary Encounters added narrative structure, which helped out the game quite a bit.
That would be significant.
I could see that being the case.
So look into Legendary Encounters, too, if you're looking for that narrative.
Someone's asking, does Arkham have pre-built decks? Arkham does not. Champions does. The new Marvel game coming out is like the Captain America pack is the Captain America deck.
I bet if they could do it over, though, they would do pre-builts for Arkham.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so correct.
In fact, I think I don't know of an LCG, certainly a co-op, that wouldn't do that in the future.
It's just, we had this conversation on the podcast a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if I buy that Game of Thrones deck, just they finally did the starters like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a big move, and it was about a year,
you're already
2 years
literally, an LCG pack has about the number of cards a deck has in it. And it's like, well, for $15, you could either make this a bunch of random cards that everyone wants 2 of, or a playable deck on the shelf. It's like, that's so much smarter.
But potentially nobody wants to buy it if they don't want those cards. I mean, that's kind of the issue, right? If you're like, if it's a Targaryen deck and I play Greyjoy, it's like, I'll just pass on that release.
I'd be willing to bet on way more people being interested in the game in general if it was pre-built decks.
Yeah. But more players, who needs that?
All right, we're going to close down the stream here. We're going to come back in a minute with Sentinels of the Multiverse. Anything you want to say at this point?
I mean, I think, there's different games for different moments. There's certainly different games for different audiences. And especially if you're leading your gaming group, I think your awareness of the players that are going to be a part of the experience that you're bringing to the table is one of the key factors in success or failure, especially in a long-term board game meetup. So I think you'll probably know if your group is wanting more of the Legendary experience. Are we joking around a lot? Are we taking it pretty not seriously? Are we keeping it light? Do we want to churn out a bunch of games and kind of just, is this an excuse just to hang out and and have conversations? If that's true, I think Legendary is definitely the majority of the time. I think it would be the better choice. But even in that space, I think sometimes a group might want to play Champions, and that same group other times might want to play Legendary. This is the classic beautiful thing about board games. You can really tailor the experience. So maybe if it's that kind of a group, I think 1 out of 3 times maybe everybody gets their Champions, or a new pack came out and it's like, let's play Champions because Captain America just came out. And then otherwise, let's churn a few games of Legendary and then move on to a Tapestry or some kind of a thicker board game. I think that's the way that most groups that I've seen operate. A couple of light games to kind of warm up the appetizer, if you will, and then diving into something heavier. And so you could also do a couple Legendary warm-ups and then dive into Marvel Champions, which would be a cool superhero night.
It's a lot of Marvel action.
But you know which one you want. I mean, that's the thing is you know if you've seen both of these games being played, and if you're on the channel right now, you assuredly have seen Marvel Champions played, then I think you have what you need to make a decision, and it's up to you and your group. Do you want the story-driven, thematic, more complex, more in-depth experience, I would say? Or do you want the lighter, quicker, less on the line experience? Both of them are great and valid. I think that's about it.
All right, we did it.
Sentinels of the Multiverse coming up next. If you're on the live stream right now, stick around. We will be up in just a second. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time, good luck making decisions about which Marvel game to play.